You're about to enter the world of strawberry ice and the ice cave. Let's go!
You know, the league rule was you're not really supposed
Probably
to
take him out of that conversation. And that
he started from absolute scratch.
I would draft Aziz Ojolari or any.
Nobody's doing 7-step drops in
playing tackle for him. So
right.
It's
22 years old. Devonta Smith, same thing.
You just can't. You can't do that. You can't do that.
I thought that 2010
that should be in the Hall of Fame, and they put him in after he is gone. So that's
to fill the stadium.
I remember you guys saying that.
It's crazy.
I see that he's taken the non.
But overall, that line wasn't better.
No,
he's talking to the refs and saying, "Hey, I'm not going to get those calls."
He's coming. He's coming, and he's being section 158 with me. So
these guys have learned basically since they've been in the major leagues.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, the Iceman, Jeff Trunapole. And as always, I'm bringing you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of Jackpot Joey Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. Now, do me a favor. If you found the show, hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that thumbs up. I'm up to 1,287 subscribers. You guys are awesome. I appreciate every single one of you guys. And as always, if you guys are watching on Facebook or Twitter, do me a favor, go to the YouTube channel. If you've never seen my show before, go to the channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for the notification so you know when I'm going live. Like this week, it seems like I'm going to go live a little different because I've been down on the bridge trying to get some videos of Bengals training camp, and they end at 5, and I got to rush home and try to edit it and get it together. So that's why I've been on a little later this week. Also, we're doing super chats exclusively in the YouTube channel. So if you guys want to support what I'm doing, I would appreciate it, and give me a super chat. All right. Like I said, Twitter today, I have a special guest today. He's none other than Zim Hude. He's from the Orange and Black, Orange is the New Black podcast. Him and his boy Ace do a great job. Now, me and Zim recorded this earlier today, so I'm gonna go ahead and play the video with me and Zim, and then I will come back and we'll do the Bengals videos and stuff like that, and we can talk. So if you guys want to make comments on the video, you can. I'll pop them up during the video, but I will not be talking. Well, I'll be talking, but not live. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about. Let's get to Zim. Zim, what's up, buddy? What's going on?
Hello, world. How's everybody doing this fine afternoon?
Good, man. Good. I've had a lot of fun, and I'm becoming a part of the Bengals Bridge crew. I've been there 3 times this week, checking out the Bengals, and I got this just bootleg video I put up on Twitter yesterday of we can't really see it too much, but it's Burrow to Chase, and dude, I got so many views and so many comments. I got people commenting on this thing like, "Oh, you can see that Burrow didn't step into the throw, and he didn't do this." I'm like, how in that? I'm like, dude, you can barely see it. It's Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, but like,
man,
it's crazy.
The more and more I do this Bengals stuff, the more and more I learn that people just have their own preconceptions or thoughts on something, and you cannot sway people. Like, it's almost like politics. Like, right? If somebody likes a politician or something like that, you could say that they did the worst thing on earth. They're still going to support that guy. So it's the same with like sports.
Right,
if somebody comes in thinking and Facebook is good for this, but they come in there and say, "Oh, Joe Burrow's gonna get hurt again" or something crazy like that, then that's the guy that's going to comment that first because he's afraid and he's scared and he doesn't want to tell you he's afraid of life, and he's going to come on there and he's going to say, "Well, he didn't step into the throw because he's so worried and he's so worried about stuff that hasn't even happened yet." That's just how people are.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just talk about the different comments. I didn't comment on because I'm just kind of like, how can you guys tell anything from that video? I mean, I watched it live, and I'm like, it was kind of hard for me to tell. I was pretty far away, so I mean, it's as close as I can get. But people are kind of freaking out a little bit that the Bengals defense is playing better than the Bengals offense, which I'm kind of like, we want the Bengals defense to play good. I'm not, me personally, Zim, I'm not worried about the offense. I mean, I think Joey's going to be fine. I think Chase is going to be fine. They're knocking the rust out, but if the defense is making plays, isn't that a good thing? Isn't that what we all want?
Yeah, and then early on in camp, this is how it goes for every national football team. Like, I mean, this could be college, bro. Like at the end of the day, this is just how seasons start off. It's like, the defense is gonna, be more in sync because the assignments are less complicated. I don't know if you know, me and Ace, we did this too, but I played cornerback in high school. But for us, my coverages were the exact same. I'm cover 2, I'm man, I'm cover 3, like I'm going into a zone on this play or whatever. It took us time to get, like different signals. I might give somebody like, hey, look, we're gonna get out of this real quick. I'm gonna take this zone instead or whatever, like right before the play. But in 11-on-11, it's like, it's man. Like, and whereas the offense is still trying to learn a lot of their check downs, they're still trying to get Chase on board with a lot of stuff. Although we have really good reports from them and stuff. It's just always easier. Once the offense starts to add their wrinkles into there and stuff like that, and you start to confuse the defense, it won't look like that, I assure you. And also, keep this in mind, you got a quarterback coming off an ACL that you can't touch.
Right.
So,
the thing is, he hasn't played in a football game either since November. So, I mean, he's doing stuff. I don't care. You can be the greatest quarterback in the world. If you haven't done something in about 6 months or more, you're going to be a little rusty. It's going to be, a little transition. And not only, not playing the position, he's also got his knee that he is looking really good on. I mean, he's moving around. He's looking great. But, I mean, it's rust. And the thing is, I think Bengals fans, and I'm probably partially to blame for this because, I get us all hyped up and everything's all roses and
it's all awesome. Your fault.
Yeah, it's all my fault. We're gonna wait. You did it too, Zim. But I mean, it happens. I mean, they're working out. I mean, Jermaine Pratt got an interception yesterday. That's a good thing for Jermaine. I mean, you got to look at it that way. I'm not worried about the offense. I think they're going to get it together. Like you said, Chase is a rookie. No matter how good of a rookie he is and how much we talked him up, he's still a rookie.
Right. I mean, and like I said, it's been really good reports, but I'm with you. I want the defense to hit the ground running. The one guy that I was telling somebody yesterday, and I think it's such a beautiful thing, is that you haven't seen one play in camp from anybody's videos. Like I share videos, guys like James share videos. There are all these people that, do show videos. Has anybody seen one video where Trey Waynes has gotten beat?
Nope.
It's a really good thing. People should be happy for that.
Yeah, I that's like here. I got this. There's nothing I put up on my Twitter. That's making a play on Tate yesterday.
Look at Ice. He's a pro, guys. You see that? I just mentioned Trey Waynes almost like a teaser, and we didn't even do that. That's how you know you're rocking with professionals here. He just had that thing ready.
Yeah. It's all on my Twitter. That's all you guys got to do. Go to my Twitter. You can find it. But yeah, I mean, I think our secondary honestly has looked really good.
Right.
In the practice when I went down there. I mean, like I said, I'm only up on that bridge, which I mean, if you see, I'll show you. See the bridge? I don't know if you see my right there. That's where I'm at. Up there. Because people ask me like, where's this bridge at? It's like it's right there.
The only thing you guys are missing is like a little grill or something like that. Are y'all cooking anything up there yet?
No. I bring me a chair up there so I can sit down. But
see, that's the only thing you're missing, bro. Like you have to get like it could be the world's smallest grill, but somebody's got to bring like some grill, just a little bit of charcoal. You got to get a couple dogs out there. I mean, if you don't do that, then it's got to be like Coney's or something, like sitting on a table or something like that.
I'll try to bring some Skyline today and put that out there for you.
I'm telling you that's what the bridge guys are missing right now.
Exactly. But today is gonna be cool when I get out there today, and this is the part I think a lot of Bengals fans get excited for. Is they're putting the pads on today, so they're going to start hitting, which they're not going to hit Joe Burrow. He's not getting hit, but everybody else is going to get hit. So it's going to be an interesting day to see how things change. Things are going to change when you put the pads on. It gets more real.
For sure. I think guys I think people like a Mike Hilton and stuff, I think you're going to see them probably flash a lot more. Somebody that gets their nose under the, like in there a lot. Those are the guys that I think are going to really, really, really show like a lot more when pads come on. From a running standpoint, yeah, they'll have pads, but there's an early whistle. But guys like P. Ryan and stuff, you're going to hear that. You might hear that from the bridge. Like Joe. Don't sleep on Joe too. That's a powerful guy. But I'm really excited. More importantly, I think a lot of people think that when you put pads on, you're more susceptible to injuries, but I disagree. I almost think that it's almost the exact opposite, because when they don't have on pads, that's when you get a lot of soft tissue injuries and different things like that fresh out of camp. Just because a guy gets bumped up and bruised up like on their arm, like early on, I used to love pads because it was less conditioning and it was more like, now it's time to start playing, like playing football. Right. Yeah, and you're not like anytime I ever like twisted my ankle, I ended up breaking my ankle my sophomore year. But anytime that you're kind of cruising a little bit or something like that, those are the times where I'd like twist my ankle real quick, or I step, like when I was going like full speed, I like, I was always healthy myself. Like now I'm not a Bengal, but I'm just saying, like, I think guys feel that same way too. And I'm not afraid of the pads itself. I just think, like, you might walk away, your arm might be cut up a little bit from, like, it's just, we call that debris. But you get a little bit of that, and then but it doesn't mean that guys are going to now start thumping, and now all of a sudden, like, that's going to lead to an injury or something.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's almost like when you don't have the pads on, you're more relaxed. You don't. It's not as intense. Pads are on. It's like, all right, game time. Let's go. So it's going to be a little different. But yeah, you do make a good point about guys could have a better chance of getting injured without the pads than with the pads. Man,
I'm telling you, you see what they're wearing? Like, look at what the wide receivers do. Like, they don't even have on, have like this. I guess that's different than like this. We're talking like 10, 15 years ago when like guys don't even have any type of padding whatsoever at all, so
helmets and a couple things around their shoulders. That's about it, I think.
Yeah, like at least back then we would take like like maybe wear a thigh pad right there, or you could interchange and put another pad right there, like in your pants, and put like a thin pad. Like, they're not even wearing that; they're just flat out wearing biker shorts.
Yeah, that's it. Just biker shorts,
and then cruising it, and then you're cruising it. So think about it, you're running, and then you kind of come to an abrupt stop. You're trying to pull up and stuff, and I feel like. I remember like the AJ Green injury and the knee injury and different things like that. Field stuff, take it kind of coasting, then all of a sudden you're accelerating. Those are the things that I think. I don't know how the Rams running back got hurt. Cam Akers towards ACL the other day, but generally it's not when the pads come on, and if it is, it's not because of contact.
Yeah, exactly. Now let's talk about these two guys, Bates and Von Bell. Now Bengals fans are kind of starting to freak out a little bit. When are we going to sign Bates? When are we going to sign Bates? Like, I'm kind of like, relax. It's going to happen. Jesse Bates has said he wants to be here. It's going to happen. I think they're just working out the logistics of it. Are you worried about Bates getting signed? Because I know I'm not.
I'm not. I've said this before in the offseason. I thought that they wouldn't have a problem with making Jesse Bates the highest paid safety in football. I think now that we've seen this thing go on and linger a little bit, I think maybe they're waiting for the Jamal Adams deal to be done. But to me, it doesn't really make sense, because Jamal Adams, even though he plays the same position, they are not the same type of safety.
No, they're not.
They're very different. So I don't know if they're waiting for the market to be set for that or whatever. But Jesse Bates camp seems like they're ready, and as he said, eager to get the deal done. The Bengals never want to be able to play, a position group. Or a guy in a position group, the highest paid in his field in any category. You saw the Joe Mixon deal. He's like the sixth, paid running back with Aaron Jones, and he's in that group and stuff like that. The safety position is a position that doesn't get paid the same money as like a corner or edge, right? So I thought, like, in the offseason, seeing him between 12 and 16 million or whatever would be very simple for them, because that will put him at the top tier part. I don't know what they're trying to do to, like, maybe there's language in the contract he doesn't like, but I don't understand how to me, that's a no-brainer. The money's there. It actually helps them on the books, like moving forward, because once he starts to go off like we think he is, it's going to be a steal. It's going to be, like, especially with the cap going up next year, you don't want to get caught out there trying to compete with other people and all that crap out there next year. You need to do that deal now.
Yeah, it's the same thing I said about Hubbard, which I think that was a good deal, because I think if you don't re-sign Hubbard, he's getting 15, 16, 17 million next year. and or maybe more. Who knows?
But tell me your thoughts about, like, overall, what do you feel about Sam Hubbard as a player? Like, what's your overall?
I think I think he's a good player. He's good at a lot of stuff. He's not. I don't know if he's really great at anything, but he's a very good player. Now, can he get better? Yes. And will he get better? I think he can. I don't know if he's ever going to be a great pass rusher. I think he's going to be more of creating stuff for another guy to get there, but not necessarily getting the sacks himself. I do think his run defense, I think that's his path. I think that's where he's going to excel at, to be honest, moving forward. What do you think?
I'm in the same group as you, but like I said, I just got on Facebook last week or the week before, and if I didn't know any better, I would think that Sam Hubbard was Myles Garrett
right?
when he got signed on Facebook, because on Facebook it's a totally different animal than Twitter people. Yeah. Like I don't know what is the coffee is different over there. but Sam Hubbard, I was telling people, I said, man, it's a good deal. He does what he does. Pretty much everything you said. But I was like, the pass rush the last couple years, to me, if anybody watched me and Ace's show, The Orange is the New Black, I've been screaming more about the pass rush.
Yeah.
And I could, if anybody wants to watch film with me, I could show you 3-4 games that we lost just because of pass rush. Mm-hmm. The Browns game with Baker Mayfield, especially the end of that game.
Oh, the first game, yeah.
The Eagles game, when they had the game locked up, and then Carson Wentz or whatever just does whatever he does and sends it into overtime. And then even early on, that Chargers game was weird because it felt like a scrimmage or something anyway. But
it was.
there's many games that you could point to the pass rush and say, if they would just get one stop. There's a period where Joe was scoring 26, almost 30 points a game. Mm-hmm. So anybody that's sitting there saying that the offensive line is like the big reason why the Bengals lost, you're sadly mistaken. You got caught in it with the narrative. Yep. The offensive line isn't really good, but Joe was able to navigate and get past that. Even Brandon Allen had some good games with the same offensive line.
Right.
Fast forward to now, they didn't do anything, in my opinion, to make the pass rush better. You're projecting Joseph Osai to be better and be a Carl Lawson eventually. Mm-hmm. But year one, who's thinking that Joseph Osai is going to come in here and get 8 to 10 sacks? Not me. I'm not expecting it. I think he's going to be really good. I think that for the first couple of years, he was a linebacker in college, and then he only played edge for 1 year. So if people will really watch him, and I'm looking at his tape, he only has like 1 or 2 moves. He has to develop. And so now you lost Carl Lawson, you bring in Hendrickson. We could argue about, is that a trade-off? Is, whatever.
To me, honestly, people say it's a downgrade. I think they're so damn close. It's really it's a trade-off. I don't,
it's a trade-off for me because they're different too.
Right.
Whereas Carl Lawson might have gone missing a couple games, Hendrickson will never go missing. Right. But at the same time, you're losing out on the athleticism of a Carl Lawson. But you're hoping to gain that back with Joseph Osai, I think.
Yeah, and hopefully you're gaining that. I love Lawson. My only beef with him is how many times he gets the quarterback last year and couldn't get him down. Hopefully Hendrickson can actually get him down this year. Which
is the crazy part, is if you paired up Carl Lawson with a Hendrickson, and the Bengals have $20 million in cap space right now, right? So if you would have paired those two up together, I'd be saying, let's go, right?
Exactly.
But that's not the case. And then now, what are you hearing? Reports of, Khaled Kareem's taking the next step. Now Khaled Kareem is a great friend of the show, Orange is the New Black, with me and Ace. Like, that's Ace's boy. Right. I love Khaled Kareem. But for me to sit here and say that I believe Khaled Kareem is going to take off where Carlos Dunlap left off in his tenure with the Bengals would be me trying to sell you on something. Right. I'm like our opposition tell us on Twitter, they'd be like, you guys are just hyping up the Bengals. Like, I would be hyping up Khaled Kareem, telling you that, right? So that he's got to rotate with somebody. Who is that guy that he's rotating with? And you didn't do anything to make the pass rush better. Meanwhile, our counterparts in the division, like the Steelers, the Ravens, all of them, Pittsburgh or the Steelers, they all got better at pass rush. They all added people. Even the Ravens added Justin Houston this past week. And these are guys that I was saying all this offseason. I said we needed Melvin Ingram. I said we needed before he got paid a bunch of money. Hassan Reddick. There's guys that would have gave you 20. Hassan Reddick would have gave you more than that. But all we needed is a guy that can give you 15 to 25 snaps a game. Just third down, couple of second down plays, whatever, against passing teams. 15 to 20 snaps. Veteran guy that's done it before. That's really, really good. Still has something left in the tank. I thought Melvin Ingram at 31 years old, I thought that would have been a good one. He goes to the Steelers, right? They're just using him in the same role I'm saying. He's just a backup to the guy Roach and the other guy Hightower or something like that. They're just bringing him in for third, and that's what good teams do. So if you're a Bengals fan and you're saying, oh, I mean, Sam Hubbard got signed. Sam Hubbard's been on the team.
Right.
Sam Hubbard has never given me 8-10 sacks, right? Why would anything change now? Because he's working out harder at Black Sheep? Okay, all right. So maybe he gives me a couple more sacks, but it's not the answer. And really good teams have 3 elite rushers. Right now, they have one good rusher, not elite. And I think that's one of the bigger holes on the team that people aren't really paying attention to. Offensive line play got this big story written about it this offseason because Joe got hurt, coincided with the fact that they really weren't that good. But if I could show you some games, we got to watch it. I'm going to show you some games. if they would have just put any type of pass rush on the game, and then in the same game, the Titans game, they made Tannehill's life, they made his life miserable in that game. Right. And that game was very simple. And if you watch any of the Super Bowls and stuff, the team that dominates the line of scrimmage, offense and defense, that team is always going to be the person that dominates the game. You could go look at the Panthers and the Broncos, Super Bowl, shattered their game plan just from a pass rush, just rotating 4 or 5 guys, like rotating that Broncos front right there, or whatever. They wrecked that game so bad that everything that the Panthers did that whole entire season was null and void when you got a good pass rush. The same thing in the Eagles Super Bowl and the same thing in this past Super Bowl this past year. If you don't have 3 elite pass rushers, you cannot get where you want to go. Do the Bengals want to wait until the next draft? Sure, go ahead. But this whole season, get ready for that story to be written.
Right. Yeah, I'll put it to you this way. I got a little different take on the pass rushers that we have. I think we actually have, I'm not saying they're elite, but we actually have a rotation. Last year, we didn't have a rotation. That's one thing where they did address it this year with Osai, and I put Sample in there, and they got Hendrickson and Hubbard. So they do have a rotation, which is good because when was the last time we had a pass rush rotation? What, 2015, 14? So we actually have 4 guys that we could rotate. No, I'm not saying any of them are elite yet. I mean, I think Osai definitely could be one. Maybe Sample, I don't know. But either way, the thing is, I agree with you. If you can't get a little bit of pressure on the quarterback, that's going to change everything. And the thing is with the Browns game, because I went back and watched the first game of the Browns last year, because everybody's like, oh, the Browns blew us out in both games. No. And I kept saying, no, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
I was like, all right, I got to go back and check it out the first game. The first game, we were in the game. If we could have got one freaking stop, we could have won the game.
And think about who we ran out there in the second game.
Right.
Like Jalen Davises of the world and all these guys. So any Browns fan that talks trash to you or whatever, like that's the one thing I'll be like, one thing about me is I don't bring up injuries as an excuse. Like whoever suited up, that's who suited up. But I found myself in that game saying, who are these guys? And so So the guys that we know that like the Browns, they're like Baker Mayfield sliced you up. I'm like, I don't even know who those guys were.
It was the running backs. That was the biggest. Their running backs they ran all over us, and we did not have. DJ Reader's in there, but Gino wasn't in there. I think Daniels was hurt.
Right. So the secondary was nobody. Darius Phillips started that game, and I don't even think he finished that game.
Yeah, so
Darius Phillips, he finished the second one because that's the one they picked on him at the end with Donovan Peoples-Jones gets the catch. Then he comes back with another one. All three of them, and then the first game was the one where they picked on Von Bell from the tight end position.
Right.
Remember the tight end that the white tight end? I can't think of his name. He's the one he beat out Njoku or whatever, but he's the younger guy.
Yeah,
he picked on Von Bell one-on-one in that game, and then everybody was like, Von Bell sucks. Then Von Bell redeems himself later on in the season. Like Bengals fans I remember a lot of stuff, bro. There was a stretch in the season where they were putting up points around that Titans game. Bro, like nobody talked about the offensive line at all. Did you get anybody talking to you about the offensive line in that stretch?
I got talking. It was the run game. That was the thing because they're like, "Oh, Joe Burrow's passing too much," but he's throwing for 400 and something freaking yards.
Right. I'm like,
killing people.
You can't do that with a very, very poor offensive line. Now the line wasn't good, but I would argue that if you have a pass rush that is competent and Joe Burrow's giving you 20-something points, you're going to the playoffs.
Right.
I've said that on your show before. Give me 24 to 28 points a game every week. If the defense isn't doing what they got to do or whatever, it's going to show. And the reason why I think that rotation that you're talking about works. But the problem that I think you have is in a tight game when the Samples and the Cali Creams have to go up against the worst and the best offensive line in football with the Browns. I got two takes for the Browns. Nick Chubb is probably the most underrated running back in the National Football League.
Oh yeah,
bar none.
Yeah, he's
one thing about me is I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm gonna be super fair.
Their running back tandem. I put it as top 2 or 3 in the league. Between Chubb and Hunt. I mean,
but Chubb is a throwback / hybrid of whatever you want to run it back to be. He, like, I remember I used to be one of those guys that'd be like, oh, Mixon is better than Chubb. This past year told me exactly what I want to know about Chubb. Now, that's not to say that we can't get Chubb down on the ground, but I was very happy that we didn't have to play him that one time, that one game when he was hurt or whatever. I was like, God, because I'm telling you, that dude in the fourth quarter, they put a stat up yesterday. Nick Chubb, did you know, averages 10.6 yards a carry in the fourth quarter with a minimum of 30 attempts. The only person that's close to him is Derrick Henry at 6 point something. That's when teams are worn down. You don't want to be in a tight game. You don't want to be in a tight game with the Browns.
That's exactly what they did in the first game. I guess that's what I kept saying. It's like they got the lead and we kept chasing. If you look at the third and fourth quarter,
and they
ran the ball down our throat. That's what they
couldn't
did.
Stop them.
We couldn't stop. And it's not that Mayfield cut us up or they were that much better than us. I mean, they got a lead. We couldn't make a stop. And that to me is like another thing which comes where I like the Bengals defense. I'm giving Lou a lot of credit, I guess.
Right.
But I like the potential run stoppers we have with Ogunjobi and Big Daddy Bayou
and Hilton stepping up.
I cannot wait to see Hilton. I cannot wait to see him play. But
I love the run. The run defense is amazing. I feel like it's going to be our calling card. But the problem is, to me, it's like I'm saying, when you get in a tight game and guys got to start throwing and you want to just take over a game, or the game is within reach and you know they're going to throw, and I got Cam Sample or I got Khaled Kareem going against the best tackles in football with the Browns, or or matchups like that aren't favorable. You need elite pass rushers. That's where it's going to show up, is in those games.
Well, I got a question for you, Zim. Okay, to me, this is what I've been seeing on my show. The key to beat the clowns and the ratbirds for me is I want to put the ball in Baker Mayfield's hands and Lamar Jackson's hands. Let me preface this with Lamar Jackson. Keep him in the pocket and make him throw the ball. Don't let him get out of the pocket. Then he's going to kill us. But if the Bengals defense can do that, I think that to me is the key to the defense to winning the games. I mean, what's your thoughts on that?
I mean, I believe so. That's the plan. But everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. You start going down 14-0.
Yeah, exactly.
Because Nick Chubb or somebody that ran the ball or Lamar Jackson. Like, there's another Facebook hot take. on Facebook, for whatever reason, I interviewed Carl Lawson and he said Lamar Jackson is a cheat code. Any fan that is sitting at home and saying that Lamar Jackson is like one-dimensional,
he
doesn't watch football. And he said that specifically. He said he is by far the most feared person in the National Football League. And furthermore, I'm going to take it there too. The Bengals have never beat Lamar Jackson ever. Yeah. I was there at the first game that they inserted him in there. I was there in the front row. I had a contest. I invited people to the game in that game. And we lost that game because Lamar Jackson was tearing us up running the football.
Exactly.
Since then, Now, what has he done? They now give him the first time he's ever had a legit wide receiver in Rashard Bateman. That's the first time that they like Hollywood Brown is the number 3 wide receiver on our team. He would be battling Auden Tate. That's been his number 1 all this time. They now gave him Rashard Bateman. Rashard Bateman was the one wide receiver that I said if they don't get Jamar Chase, I'll take Rashard Bateman or Elijah Moore in the draft. Those are the 2 guys that I was like, I'll take those guys.
Right.
Rashard Bateman. I've seen Can't Film because I run a Bengals versus Steelers page or whatever. We look at Rashard Bateman. He is really, really, really good. And the other guy that they got that we should have got in the 4th or 5th round too is going to be a thorn in our side too. So now you've given them weapons. So I don't think the conversation is that simple. We've never gotten close to even really beating them.
What about what about the first game last year? You remember the first game last year? They were and now I don't know if remember Lamar was injured or not, but they were actually able to keep him in the pocket, and he wasn't the one that beat us. Again, their running backs are the ones that beat us.
Yes.
So that's where I'm like, whatever they did, and then the second game they didn't do it. I mean, I don't know. I think Darius Phillips was the spy in the first game. I think he was injured in the second game, and I think that's the reason why Lamar went off on us. But if you can keep Lamar, you got to keep him in that pocket. If you don't keep him in that pocket, like you said, he's a cheat code. He's going to kill us. But the lesser of 2 evils, I'd rather have him drop back and try to beat us passing than give him the ball and let him run. You know, that's kind of where I'm at on Lamar. You got to take the lesser of 2 evils.
For sure. But I'm going to caution all Bengals fans on this one. I've been on record. There's no secret that I felt as though in the draft that Lamar Jackson, came out, the Bengals should have drafted him. And I'll say this, he would have never had the success that he's had with the Baltimore Ravens because the Bengals don't do what it takes to put their players in the best position, I think, to succeed sometimes. But if you look at the Ravens, they've done exactly what you had to do is make a roster that is geared around his strengths. His strength is he is the fastest running quarterback in the National Football League. Cool. But I will say this, your plan sounds good, but I'm going to take it a step further. The biggest way to beat Lamar Jackson is to get him playing from behind, not just throwing the football. I think that you're going to see this year, if a game is tight, now that he does have weapons, I think he's going to throw the football. And this is a guy that's won an MVP. So, and he didn't get an MVP just running the football. Right. So a lot of people say that, and when he gets a chance to throw the football, he's going to do well. But I will say this. If the game is tight, he's going to make plays because that's what playmakers do. Absolutely. But in order for your plan to work, get Lamar down by 10 plus points. Can you do that to the Ravens? I don't know. That's the tough part.
They got a good defense.
So that's the key to me. It's like get him playing from behind. Anytime that he struggles is always because he's playing from behind.
Right.
Period.
Yeah. That's and I'll put this out there. This is my predictions. I guys losing both games to the Raptors.
11-6.
Yeah, baby. Yeah,
what
baby.
The heck? Whoa!
Well, I look at it this way. I really do think we have a very. I got to lose to this. I got to split with the Squealers. I really think we can beat them both times, but I just got to split with them because Mike Tomlin is a very good coach, and I can't see us doing that. But dude, I think there's a very good chance we could be 4-0 going into that Green Bay game. I really do. I mean, Minnesota's gonna be tough to get by, and that brings me to another question for you. And Paul Dehner Jr. brought this up on my show, and I never thought about this, to be honest. But with Mike Zimmer being the Vikings head coach,
right?
How comfortable are you putting Jackson Carman in there at guard, rookie, first game in the NFL against a Mike Zimmer defense where Mike Zimmer can go, that guy, he's a rookie, he's never played guard, go get that guy,
right?
And that's the way Paul Dehner Jr. put it to me. I'm kind of like, ooh, I never thought about that. So I'm kind of leaning if Frank Pollock I trust, but I wouldn't be surprised if Serafia starts over Carman the first game.
I am so happy you just asked me this question because this has been a hot topic. There's been a divided field, I think, in Cincinnati on Twitter, and I hope I'm not super long-winded with this, but this is a great conversation piece. We could have led the daggone show with this.
I should have, man.
But I'm gonna tell you this: the reason why T. Higgins is projected to be as good as he is, or the reason why Joe Mixon is as good as he is, or the reason why Tyler Boyd is as good as he is because reps early on and being able to hit the ground running. Now, I know it's a different position, and people will point to that. But if you look at teams that are super successful that take an offensive line that early and you're coming off a 4-12 season. I think it's very, very, very important that this guy hit the ground running. The plan before the draft was always this, wasn't it, Ice? When we came and we said Jamar Chase, we were always going to come back and get Leatherwood, Cosme, Radins, one of those guys, right? The Bengals go against the grain, go get Carmen, then they come back and sell us on it. The Willie Andersons of the world, everybody tells us that Carmen is that. He would have gone earlier. We were lucky to get him and stuff like that. I made a tweet. I think it was Jay Morrison or maybe Ben Baby Ben Baby, where he was with the third string, right? And so a lot of people were saying, "Oh, well, I mean, he's got to earn his spot and stuff like that." I love the fact that he needs to earn his spot, but I'm gonna tell you one thing that I learned about football a long time ago: talent is talent, and nobody is going to a veteran. Like somebody made this argument. They said, "Well, the veterans won't like it if you just hand them a spot." Right. And I'm not saying hand them a spot, but the veterans respect talent. There's not one person that's going to come out there and say Jamar Chase should be taking reps behind Auden Tate, but behind Auden Tate, right? Even if they're not going to come out and say that he's going to start day one, they're looking for this guy that you took at a premium pick. Let me talk to you, Bengals fans. That's the second round. You're talking about out of thousands of prospects in the world. You had a chance to pick them at 38 or 36 or something like that, right? 38. They back up, go get 43. So don't sell me on, oh, well, we got Deontay, what's his name? Deontay Smith and all these other guys with the pick. Cool, but that's not what I'm focused on. I'm focused on the fact that the reason why I got Jamar Chase is because I knew that the talent pool was so good in the second round. The Cosmes of the worlds and the Landon Dickersons and all these guys out there and all these guys that are or Tevin Jenkins and stuff, yeah, they're competing, but they're taking reps right now, and the talent is showing where it's universally known that this guy needs to be out on the field. I think it's very telling if he can't beat out Xavier Su'a-Filo for a starting job at right guard. I don't care that he's converting over. Like, I don't care about that because talent is talent. It's way easier to play the guard position than the tackle position. So one thing that I wanted to make sure is that everybody understands is that I'm not saying give this guy the job, but if he isn't flashing, that's a big problem. And that's how teams, bad teams, ask the Browns, that's how bad teams go from being bad and getting worse is your early premium picks don't have early success and they don't get on the field. And people are saying, well, okay, like you just said, well, you don't want them to go up against the best Mike Zimmer defense and stuff like that. I don't think at the guard position it's even going to be a talking point if this guy's shown enough at camp and he's hitting the ground running. It's totally different than the Michael Jordan thing. That's a 4th, 5th round pick that we're saying that got pushed out there and he shouldn't have gone out there. This is a guy that was universally picked in the top thousands of prospects, top 40 guys drafted. You mean to tell me he's running with the third stringers and his talent isn't showing? And people were like, well, Zim, you're freaking out. No, I'm not freaking out. I'm just saying that this guy needs to get reps because if anybody goes down, he should be the next man up. If he is ready to start, I should be seeing reports saying this guy's looking so daggone good. He's a veteran. Like, what are the reports you hear from Jamar Chase? What are the reports you heard from T. Higgins last year? What are the reports you hear from really good offensive linemen like Wyatt Davis and these guys like that? They're going to play. How do you go from a 4-12 team and think that you can sit back and have the luxury of grooming someone? We don't have, you can't groom I always say this, you can't groom a tiger. You know, a tiger is a tiger. Like, we're not grooming Shih Tzus out here. These are tigers, right? You know what I'm saying? So either you got it or you don't, son. And if he isn't starting, that's not the end of the world. But if he can't beat out Xavier Su'a-Filo, the main guy that everybody was down on, and now suddenly we're like, oh yeah, we need to have veteran guys out there. Everybody was down on Xavier Su'a-Filo. You can't beat him out, a career backup. That's very telling,
right? Well, I'll put it to you this way. I was out there yesterday, and Carmel was out there with the ones. He was right next to Riley Reef. So I don't know if he got officially moved back up to the ones, but I did see him out there with the ones. He was right 76 is right next to 71. So that and in the mini camp he was going out there with the ones. Train camp started, they put him down to threes. It could be, like you said, it could be Frank Pollock going, hey, you're a rookie. You got to earn something. Maybe he earned it. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. But I'm not that worried about it, to be honest. I mean, I really think Frank Pollock is going to do what's best for the Bengals. But honestly, Suraphilia, was never that down on him because I'll put it to you this way. Last year, I think the Bengals running game got better when we had Spain, Hopkins, and Suraphilia in the front of our line. Those guys made a difference because that's when we had all those threes in the front of the line when we played the Squealers Monday Night Football, and we ran all over them. So I mean, they're not bad, and I'm not by no means saying that Suraphilia should start over Carmen. I want Carmen to start, but I'm not. It's not.
I mean, Xavier Su'a-Filo could start, and we could be grooming Carmen for right tackle of the future, which they pretty much drafted him to do anyway. But I just think that is very telling, and I'll keep it simple. It's very telling if he couldn't beat out a career backup. But yeah. I'm watching all the guys that we all thought that they would draft all go start for their teams.
Yeah, ours better start.
like anybody that's rooting for Xavier Su'a-Filo to start over doesn't it hurts. That's the bigger argument. It's like you want Joe Burrow to have correct protection. Mm-hmm. That's first and foremost. Right. But it hurts the success level of the team long term if you're drafting guys that high. Mm-hmm. Do you know the guys, like when this season is done and we're looking at all the guys that got drafted in the second round and seeing like what they did, you know how you go back on every draft and say, oh, damn, like how did they get picked John Ross over Patrick Mahomes? Or you're going to look back at the second round and say, how the hell did the Bengals go pick, like the same way they do Sample, the same way that they do Billy Price. Mm-hmm. You're going to go back and look at all the guys that got drafted around the same time frame and say, how the hell did they draft Carmen? If you don't play him now, or if he's not good enough to play right now, second round is a different animal. To me, it's just like a damn. I treat those like first round picks, honestly.
Right. Oh, especially when they're that high of second round picks.
Bro, like if you go look at it, he's probably like the 7th or 8th offensive lineman drafted. Right. He's like 9 or 10 maybe or something like that. So in the whole entire National Football League, you draft the 9th or 10th best offensive lineman and he can't beat out a backup.
Right.
I feel I'm not going to say it's a bust, but I feel like you missed.
Right. Yeah, I got you. All right, Zim. Well, I know you got to get on out of here, and I appreciate you giving me time. Tell everybody where to follow you, all your shows you got going on, your merch. You got a whole bunch of stuff going on. Your chicken wings. That's what I want to try.
Yeah, go check out our guys over at Midwest Barbecue and my guy Tim over there. It's a amazing spot, family business, really good food, good barbecue, good chicken. So if you're in the Ohio area, Midwest Barbecue, make sure you go to zimhude.com. I got a campaign called A Whole Lot of Orange. Just go check it out. Really, really cool stuff. I love this design. I worked so hard on it. If you love Bengals gear, this is the greatest Bengals gear of all time. It's got some really, really cool graphics that we worked on for all of the players, and I'm gonna be releasing them all throughout the season. But we started off really, really strong. Got a lot of orders and a lot of support. Right now, I'm wearing my boy Ace's shirt. This is his Migos design. This is the best wide receiver trio in the National Football League, and I love the fact that he made this because before the season even starts, it's like, these are the guys, and we're not going to run from it. We're not going to hide from the fact that on paper, projected, stat-wise, talent-wise, these are the best 3 wide receivers on any National Football team right now in the league. And I'm not one of them guys that wait for hindsight to say it. I can't be that. Like, I can humble myself and say, hey, the offensive line isn't the greatest, and we need a better pass rush. But I'm gonna be the person at the top of the mountaintop that's telling you the Migos are here to come take over the world. Here we are. Get a good look at it. I can't help it that they're good. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, world. Everybody's like, hey, you've been a homer. I'm sorry that they're great. I'm sorry this guy won a Biletnikoff award when he was in college. I'm sorry he got a championship. I'm sorry Tyler Boyd gets 1,000 yards every year. I'm sorry T. Higgins would have had 1,000 had he not got shelved for the last 2 seasons. I mean, the last 2 games of the season. I'm sorry that they're good. I can't make this stuff up. You can't show me another team that has it, and that's what it is. There's a whole lot of orange out here, Iceman. Let's go, baby.
Dude, I'm fired up. let me see there. And that's the way we ended it. Zim Hude was on fire as usual. And that was a mic drop moment from Zim. So I agree with him. I think we have a potential of the 3 best wide receivers in football. And I think they're going to show up. Now, training camp so far, they haven't looked that good. But, it's training camp. They'll get better. I'm not that worried about it, but I am excited with the way the defense has been playing. Now, let me just go ahead and play this is just some video that I got from today's show. You guys, or today at practice, you guys can check it out and we can discuss what's going on with the Bengals today. And yeah, Steve, you missed it. Come on, man. It's on. You can rewind it and watch it. Rabbit, that was awesome. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. You guys had a lot of comments on there. Like I said, it was recorded. Me and Zim did that earlier today, so I couldn't answer while we were talking. So anyway, let's get to some of the things that happened today at training camp when I was there on the bridge. From what I saw, Brandon Allen looks really good. To be honest, Joe still. He threw an interception in practice again today. They weren't hooking up as much, but I mean, is that a Joe thing or is that the Bengals defense? Because Bengals defense is looking really good. Now, I was talking to a couple guys up on the bridge. I'm like, man, I hope they look like this during the season because they look like this during the season. We might have a pretty daggone good defense, but we'll see. But I mean, the cornerbacks are tight on the wide receivers. It is tight coverage. There is not a lot of space for Joe to throw the ball to. So, yeah, Steve, I agree with you. Reps. I agree with you. It's going to get there. I'm not worried about it, to be honest. I really think that it's going to come together. Yeah, look at it this way. I kind of said this yesterday. Joe hasn't played since, November? He's recovering from a knee injury, so let's give him a little bit of slack. Also, Jamar Chase didn't play at all last year. So, and he's making a big jump from not playing at all to jump into the National Football League. So, again, it's early in training camp. I'm not worried about it, but I am excited about the defense. I like the way they look, Yeah, that was completely tongue-in-cheek, Rabbit. Brandon Allen will not be our star, but hey, I will tell you this. Brandon Allen looks pretty good for a backup quarterback. And my boy, Jeremy D, me and him, if you guys remember a couple months ago when they re-signed Brandon Allen, got into this big argument on the air. Oh, we got to get a backup quarterback. We got to get a veteran one. Dude, I'm telling you, Brandon Allen is fine. He's really good backup quarterback. All right, Steve, what do you got here? Our back end or defense should be fine. Yeah, our secondary, our DBs, our safeties. Yeah, I think they're going to be fine. I really do. I do agree with Zim with the pass rush. Now, what I said in the piece is I like the 4 rotation that we have. So because we haven't had that in a while. And I'm hoping and then that you have to have Joseph Osai and Sample really develop as rookies to be able to become the complete pass rushers. And I'm going to try to clarify what I was saying about Hubbard. I think Hubbard's really good. I don't know if there's one thing that he's great at yet. He's really good at stopping the run. And as soon as I said that, and earlier today with Zim, I watched him and he was in the backfield a lot today. So maybe he makes that jump where he becomes more of a pass rusher because we really need him. So, if we like Dave Lapham says, the H boys, Hendrickson and Hubbard, if we can get those guys to meet in the middle with the quarterback as a sandwich a lot this year, that's going to help out a ton. I was reading Rabbit's thing here, tongue in cheek. Yes, I'm glad we have a solid backup. Exactly. All right, Steve. Plus, Joe and the gang didn't have an offseason with contact until last year. Yeah, true. So all these things, the thing is, a lot of these guys, this is the first camp that Joe's went through. Like a real camp. Yes, he went through last year, but this is a real camp, as real as it's going to get for right now. So, I think that's also a different thing. Yes, Steve, yes, is awesome having rotational guys, and some have to emerge. Yeah, and the thing is, we haven't had, like when we're going to 4 straight playoffs, we had multiple guys. Yes, Dunlap was the big guy, but we had multiple guys who could come in and also get pressure from other places. And I'm hoping that's what happens with the team we have right now, with the young guys we have. And Osai got to play, and Sample both are playing. So from what I saw, they look pretty good. I mean, nothing spectacular, but the rest of the defense, the linebacking core, they look pretty good. Pratt intercepted Burrow yesterday. I think, like I said, I'm on the bridge. It's kind of hard to see. I think Davis Gaither got him today, but I'm not sure. So Kenneth says the Bengals suck. Yeah, thanks. Glad you're on the show then. Let's see here. Let's see. Loki. Allen proved himself to me last year. He's a great backup for us. I think so. Oh, plus he has dreamy hair. Thanks, Steve. But yeah, I think I just want everybody to just not get too worked up over what you see in the videos, because there on the video on here you can see when we get to Burrow, he's not there. He's trying to throw, and if you look at these windows, they're really tight windows that he's trying to throw into, which again, I think that's good for the defense is playing that much better. And how many times have we said it beginning of the year, beginning of training camp, like Zim said, it's all over football. I mean, the defense is usually ahead of the offense. So they're trying to install more stuff. We'll see what happens. Steve, what's up? It seems to me the last somewhat dominated pass rusher we had a decrease in production after having double-digit sacks and then subsequently a new contract. Are you talking about Carlos Dunlap? That's the last one I can remember. Rabbit says, Kenneth, you'll fit right in. All right, let's see here. Okay. Aguilar, the Great. Let's go with the Great. Am I going to be at the Jags game? Yes, I will be. I will be at every home game. I'm a season ticket holder. Keith, you're a Cowboys fan. You're a Cowboy or a Cowboys fan. Well, welcome. Well, you can join the show. We don't play the Cowboys this year, so we played them last year. Hey, how did you enjoy Andy Dalton as your quarterback? If you're a Cowboys fan, would you say you're just a Cowboy? So I'm assuming that means Cowboy fan, but I don't know. So anyway, that was the video. I can play it again here if you guys missed any of it. We'll just keep playing that here in rotation so you guys can just check it out. I got the guys walking out, and then I got some stuff from the bridge. But now I did get this afterwards that Darren Simmons said he's going to let McPherson and Sherbert duel it out during the preseason. Well, I still think Evan is going to win. Just my own observation of watching that kid kick, it's an easy swing. They're pulling the field goal in, so because they don't want him to kick it onto the street, obviously, but it's going past the field goal, past everything else, and almost to the bushes, almost every time when he kicks it. So I will be shocked if McPherson is not the kicker. But again, I'm okay with them making these guys earn their jobs. And that kind of brings me to Jackson Carman, where they're saying that he's rotating with the group one, which again, I don't think that's bad, because he's learning a new spot. He's never played guard before, and it's in the NFL. You got to earn stuff here. And if he doesn't start first game, doesn't necessarily mean that it was a bad draft. I agree with what Zim says. I mean, we take him in the second round. He's, a really good football player regardless. There's not that many guys that get drafted in that position. He should be ready to go. And Frank Pollock, I trust. I think he's going to be good. But like I said, we are at the second week of training camp. So let's see. It's really going to show out, I think, in the preseason games to see how these guys do. So Dude, I sent you a link. If you look at your phone, you can join the show. You dork. Jeremy, Diesel, silly goose. All right, let's get to some of the comments here. Loki. Let's see here. You talking about the Keith. Cowboys are cool, but please don't come here to troll. Honestly, the teams are cool because yeah. Yep, we've had other people come in here and talk crap to us. It's no big deal. You can talk crap. It's football, man. Everybody talks crap. Just be nice. All right. Chris, the defense looks good to me. Nobody's talking about Eli Apple breaking up a pass on Saturday. Might not be much, but it's more than people give him credit. Yeah, and to me, the secondary in general, Chris, has looked good. I mean, I'm really, for me, and I'm, like I said, I'm standing on a bridge, so I'm not that close. I mean, you can see from the video, not right now, when the video gets up to the bridge, I'm not that close, but there's no room for these guys. Like last year, what drove me nuts about the defensive backs is they would back off before the ball is snapped. I have not seen that one time in practice. And I've been up there, I think, 5 days. The only day I missed was Friday, and then I missed Saturday because of my son's wedding shower. But from the 5 days I've been up there on that bridge watching, I have seen nothing but tight, close coverage from the DBs. And Von Bell was in on the coverage. I think it was, I want to say it was Uno. It was either Uno or it was T. I can't remember. And he was right there to break them up. So you got to give credit to the defense and got to give credit to the secondary. I think we got some pretty good players. Now, I'm not saying we're going to be the greatest DBs ever, but compared to what I saw last year, this has been better than anything I saw last year. So, let's see here. You guys are blowing it up. I love it. Let's see here. Arrow. I know this is a Red Sox. We can talk Reds. I'm cool talking Reds. But how do you feel about the playoff push? I think we can make it, or the bullpen just so inconsistent. It's a crapshoot. Okay, see, this is what irritates me is the biggest problem, and I've said this before, and I'll just call you the great because I can't say the first word. I've been saying this a lot on my show. The thing that's bugged me all year long about the Reds is the bullpen, and it's not David Bell, it's not DJ, it's not any of the guys in the bullpen. It's it's not Nick Krall, it's Bob Castellini who did not let them go fix the bullpen earlier in the year. Yeah, it might be fixed now. I don't know. The guys they have looked pretty good, but we're also 7 games out. Now we're only 7.5 now, I think, because Milwaukee, the Boozers won last night. Now we're only 4 out of the wild card. And I've said this from the get-go. I don't think we're going to catch anybody in the West. But right now, mathematically, our best shot is the wild card. Now, what helps is, I feel bad because I think he's a great baseball player, but Tatis Jr. hurt his shoulder, and I don't know how long he's going to be out. So that could be the window of opportunity the Reds need to jump back into this, because Nick Castellanos was swinging the bat yesterday in the batting cages. I don't know how he woke up today. Maybe he woke up and his hand's not swollen and doesn't hurt, and he can be back quickly, because here in the next week or two, hopefully we get Castellanos back. We're going to get Moose back. We're going to get Senzel back. We already got Michael Lorenzen back, TJ Anton, Lucas Sims. If we get all these guys back, and knock on wood, we don't have any more. I knocked on wood, my dog's barking. We don't have any more injuries. The wild card could be a shot. We'll see what happens. But yes, we can talk Reds. All right, man, you guys are blowing it. Let's see here. Jeremy. Dude, you want to join the show? Go on your phone, get on the link, and jump on, and you can talk. And you could be on the show like we normally are. Sheesh. No, he's not. He's home. He did? He told me he was heading home. Well, whatever. He told me he was at. He told me he was on his way home. He could have been on the show, and I sent him a link. Anyway, I had a conversation with Mrs. Ice on the show. All right, let's see here. Let's get back into this. What do you guys got? Okay, let's go with Steve here. The outrage over Carmen Jackson is ridiculous just because he wasn't suddenly granted a starting spot on the roster as a second-round pick. That's where I'm at. I think everybody needs to chill out, because I don't want these guys to just be handed things. I don't think anybody should be just handed stuff. I think you have to work for it. I think you have to make it yourself. I think Jackson Carman has to prove that he can do it. And I don't think it's a bad thing that he isn't on the ones at every single time. So I'm okay with it. And again, if he doesn't start game one, I think I'm okay with that too. I'm also okay if he starts too. It depends on how good he's looking. I always say in Frank, we trust. I think he is a very good offensive line coach, and I think he knows what he's doing. And I've heard this from multiple places that he is right there on the level of almost being considered one of the elite offensive line coaches. And if you hear Riley Reef and Trey Hopkins and these guys talk about Frank, he's not talking from, well, this is what the book says, or this is what it tells you, how it should work. He goes, this works. I've done this. I know it works. He's coming from experience, and he was a pretty good offensive lineman in his own right. So whatever he's doing with Jackson Carman, I believe in and I trust. All right, let's see here. Loki, I don't care who's in the lineup for as long as they do your job. Yeah, exactly. Mike Kyle, everyone needs to calm down. Bengals will be fine. It's only training camp. Yeah, it's only, like I said, it's only 2 weeks. So we will see what happens. I'll be back on the bridge again tomorrow, trying to get some more videos and give you some more insight. But like I said, Joe is kind of struggling. But like I said, he hasn't played since November. And he's got a pretty big knee injury that he's coming back. And again, I don't think this has anything to do with his knee. His knee, he looks fine. He's not hobbling. I don't think he's thinking about it. It's just, I really do think the defense is playing really well. All right, great. What's up? Thoughts on ratings for the Bengals? Dude, I don't really have a thought on that, to be honest. I'm not a big video game guy. I hope that whatever the ratings are, it irritates the Bengals and they try to put the chip on their shoulder and they try to get even better. So they have better rankings next year. All right, let's see here. Running back Joe Mixon. Man, I guess are these the rankings? What is I don't know. I'm not sure what that is there. Great. Let's see here. You guys talk about Madden, and we start talking about Madden. You guys lose me because I don't play, But so later on tonight, I'm going to be recording a show with one of the Bengals super fans, Houday Baby. That will probably air on Friday because tomorrow I got Willie Lutz from the Same Old Stripes. He's going to be on live. And Thursday, I got Emily Parker for the Bengals. She's going to be on live. So I'm probably going to have to push. And the only time Houday Baby can do it is tonight. So he'll be on, but he'll be on Thursday. So make sure you guys check that out. Make sure, as always, you like, subscribe, and share. Now, let's get to the Facebook groups that let me live stream. And as always, I appreciate every single one of you guys. And if you're not members of these groups, please do me a favor and go enjoy them. Join them. They are Houday Nation, Bengals Nation, Bengals Houday Nation. They're two different groups. You got Bengals Nation and then you got Bengals Houday Nation. So Two different groups. Cincinnati Bengals, the jungle. Then you got the Reds group. Cincinnati Reds riding third, heading for home. Bearcat country, which I'm dying. I'm trying to get Chad Brundle on here to talk some Bearcat football. Alex Meacham, I'm reaching out to him, trying to get on, talks about some Bearcat basketball. These are things that are in the works that will be coming hopefully sometime soon. Then you got Ohio State Bucknuts for all you Buckeye fans. The Ice Bar is just a virtual bar. You can hang out, talk crap, have some fun. Check it out. You can follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm on Facebook under Sports Strawberry Ice. Instagram, Twitter handle is at Jeff A. Trennepohl. That's TRENNEPOHL. Also, you can follow me on TikTok. I do a lot of crap talking on TikTok to all the boozers and the ratbirds and the clowns and the scrubs, which the scrubs are the scrubs. How would you like to be a Scrubs fan now? If you don't know who the scrubs are, it's the Cubs. Look, I'm irritated that Bob Castellini didn't go fix our bullpen. I'd be my mind would be blown if I were a Scrubs fan. I mean, you had three really good, young, talented players, and you traded all three of them. And the last couple of years, if you could have added a little bit more pitching, you might have done something. Dude, I'd be pissed if I was a Scrubs fan. But luckily, I'm not. I'm a Reds fan. So anyway, that's stuff I talk about on TikTok. I'll be pulling the sound off later on tonight. So if you missed any of the interview with Zim, it'll be on a podcast, and you can listen to it day or night. And it is on BeanPod, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify, pretty much wherever you get your podcasts. YouTubers, like I said, you guys are awesome. I'm up to 1,287 subscribers. That is awesome. I appreciate, as always, every single one of you guys. Please tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell everybody about Sports with Strawberry Ice, the YouTube channel, the podcast, all of it. It's blowing up. I appreciate it. And other than that, as my boy, if you're watching, Jeremy Dimebag D's Nuts Dean would say, remember one thing and one thing only. And that is, you don't live in Cleveland, you live in Cincinnati, so act like it. Who dey? Hopefully the Reds will win tonight. Hey, I forgot to say this too. Is it too much to ask for the Reds to win 6 in a row in this homestand? You got 2 with the Twins. They're not that good. 4 with the Pirates. They're not that good. Let's go win 6 in a row. Seriously. Go win 6 in a row. That's what you're going to have to do to try to catch the boozers. Let's do it. And other than that, that's just sports, baby. See ya! You're about to enter the world of Strawberry Ice and the Ice Cave. Let's go!
You know, the league rule was you're not really supposed to
probably take him out of that conversation. And that
Man, he started from absolute scratch.
I would draft Aziz Ojolari or any.
Nobody's doing 7-step drops in
playing tackle for him. So it's.
He's almost 22 years old. Devonta Smith, same thing.
You just can't. You can't do that. You can't do that.
I thought that 2010
That should be in the Hall of Fame, and they put him in after he is gone. So that's why
to fill the stadium.
I remember you guys saying that.
It's crazy.
I see that he's taken the non.
But overall, that line wasn't better.
No,
they still.
He's talking to the refs and saying, "Hey, I'm not going to get those calls."
He's coming. He's coming, and he's being section 158 with me. So
these guys have learned basically since they've been in the major leagues.